Hi guys, today's topic under discussion is resource allocation and economic system. This is part of the syllabus of O levels and A levels economics. Let's define resource allocation first. Resource allocation is a process where a resource is put to a specific use or a certain use. For example, if you have land and you decide to use that land to grow crops or to build a factory, this is what we call resource allocation. Because once you decide to allocate resource for a certain use, you cannot use it for some other purpose. Of course, when you are growing crops on a piece of land, you cannot construct a building on the same land. So you need to be very, very careful before deciding about resource allocation. Okay, one more thing, that when we talk about resource allocation, three questions need to be answered. First is what to produce, second is how to produce, and the third is for whom to produce. Now, who is going to answer these questions? That is my question. Of course, the people who have the resources such as land, labor, capital and enterprise. They are the ones who are going to decide about resource allocation, and they are there to answer those three questions: what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. Now, these three questions bring us towards economic system, because in an economic system these three questions are answered before deciding about resource allocation. In an economic system, resources are allocated for a certain purpose. When you decide about, when you answer those three questions. Now, it leads us towards the types of economic systems. Market economic systems, where resources are owned by private people, so they decide about the resource allocation. They answer those three questions: what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. And of course, their motive is to earn profit. So before deciding what to produce or how to produce or for whom to produce, they first look at the amount of profit they are going to earn. For example, when they decide what to produce, they need to see whether it can give them a sufficient amount of profit or not. When they decide about how to produce, they consider whether more of land should be used, more of labor should be used, which is most suitable or which is cheaper, so that they can reduce their cost or increase their productivity to have more profit. Similarly, for whom to produce is also decided by looking at the profit to be earned. So they are going to charge a price for a product which other people can pay. So they would like to produce a product for those people who can pay such a price which you are charging for a product. So again, back of the mind, the objective of profit is there. So market economic system or market economy or laissez-faire, because these are the names of the same economic system, they consider profit first before deciding about resource allocation. Then comes the second type of economic system, that is planned economic system, and here resources are owned by government. So they allocate resources, they answer those three questions: what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. And of course, they decide about the answers of these questions on the basis of public welfare, because the objective of the government is to maximize public welfare rather than the profit, which is often the case in market economy or free market economy. So government answers them that how resource allocation can give the benefit to maximum number of people, or it can give maximum benefit to the people. So their objective or the objective of a planned economy is public welfare, or to maximize public welfare. The benefit should be extended to as many people as possible, regardless of whether they are rich or poor. Similarly, there is another type of economic system, that is mixed economy. As the name suggests, that you find that there are resources which are owned by government as well and private people as well, and that is why there is public sector as well and private sector as well. In free market economy, there is only private sector because resources are only owned by private people, private individuals. And in planned economy, resources are only owned by government or the public sector. But in mixed economy, both own certain portion of resources. So they decide how to answer those questions, that is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. In private sector, of course, the profit drives them how to allocate resources, whereas when we talk about public sector in a mixed economy, public welfare drives government how to allocate resources. So these are the three economic systems and how resources are allocated or on what basis they allocate resources.